All right, hello everyone. Welcome to the Sunday Sweat Club. We are beginning with a wonderful meditation today. So I just want you to get comfortable. Lay down, sit down, find something that feels good for you. And let your body relax. Even if you're seated, see if there is tension in the shoulders, maybe in the upper neck that you can just let go of. Let that space behind your eyes relax. Maybe even the space between the eyebrows where we like to carry tension. And then just take a deep breath in. Exhale, settle into the meditation. A few different options today. You could put your hands somewhere on your body or on the ground if that feels more stable. Maybe one hand or two hands over the heart. I'd like to offer an intention for this starting meditation just to send someone a little love who might need it. As humans, one of our greatest assets is compassion, right? And so allow this idea of compassion, of warmth, of love, just to fill the space right over your heart center. Maybe you can even envision it like a glowing orb over the heart, warm. Your own personal superpower that can be sent to anyone, used at any time. As you inhale, let this light, this heart center grow warmer.
Ruth, she's on my phone.
Exhale, imagine sending it out to somebody.
Yeah, I can get it on my
iPhone. Now that we've got everybody in, let's try that again. As you inhale, imagine glowing light right over the heart center. And as you exhale, send it out to somebody who needs it. Let's continue with that rhythm. And this time, just cue it in your mind. So every time you breathe in, you know what to do. And every time you exhale, send it on out. Take a deep breath in. And a breath out. Now I'd like you to envision this compassion as a loop. So it's extending from your heart center now right up into your third eye, sending that compassion back to yourself. Once we send compassion to others, we have to remember to fill our own cup, right? So that is what today's class will be about. Envisioning as you inhale, compassion being sent from your heart right to the center of your forehead, your third eye. And as you exhale, that will grow stronger and brighter over your heart. Take one more breath in. Exhale. On your next breath in, if your hands are up, you can release them down by your sides. If you're laying down on the mat, you're going to slowly take your time and meet all of us in this seated meditation. And then we're going to start moving. So with this idea of compassion, right? Really listen to your body today. Are you tired? Do you have energy? Maybe you're not sure yet, and we'll explore that together. That's all fine too. Once you are in a seat, walk your hands behind you and extend both legs out in front of you. So imagine first that you're just on the beach and you're kind of chilling. Feet extend, and if your legs were crossed, maybe they feel a little tight after that. So just rock them side to side, feet and legs side to side. Perfect, great work. Now point the toes and then flex the toes. See how close you can get them back towards your shin. Again, point long through the top of the feet and then toes back towards the shin. Once more, point, livening up, and then exhale, toes curl back, push through the heel. Now keep the feet like this. Bend into your right knee. So just kind of drag the foot up. Right knee comes up into the chest, and then try to walk yourself forward. See how close you can get to sitting up with that leg in. If you can't sit up at all, don't worry about it. That's okay. Once the knee is up, let's start to roll onto the outer edge of the foot with the foot flexed though. So remember the foot stays flexed. Push the right knee out to the side. And then zoom it back into the midline when you're ready. So this is just a more intentional rocking and opening of the hips. Bring it out to the right. And then when you're ready, back into the midline. Again, out to the right. And back into the midline. Take a breath in. Extend your foot forward, lengthen the leg, and then walk your hands forward, fold over your legs. And this is that first option to be like, do I want to take this with energy and pull myself down and in? Or do I want to relax the head down towards the shins? It's completely up to you. Take a breath in. Exhale, see if you can't fold a little bit deeper. Again, inhale. Exhale, fold, deepen the stretch. Once more, inhale. Exhale, fold. And then walk yourself back up. Maybe use your hands or the strength of your body. Hands come back behind you. And then same thing, this time I'm being easy on you today, you might have noticed. We're just gonna drag that foot up. So drag the left foot up and then see how much you can close the chest towards the leg. If it's not much, you're welcome to stay on the beach. If you can, you might sit up a little bit straighter. Once you're there, take a breath in. And then as you exhale, zip the leg out to the side. But notice make sure the foot is nice and flexed, right? We're not rolling or sickling the ankle, as they say, trying to keep that foot engaged. And then inhale, bring it back up to center. Exhale, take it out to the side again. Again, inhale, back up to center. Exhale out to the side. All right, inhale, come on up. And then slowly stretch the leg forward with control. This time, once the leg extends, fold yourself down and in as you exhale. But then we're going to create a wave. So the wave should start from the low back, around through the low back, pull your belly button in and roll yourself back up to the top. Reach the head high as you inhale, then push your chest up to the ceiling, almost like you're trying to sit nice and tall. Can you take a little bit of a back bend? And then exhale, tuck your chin, round your shoulders forward, and fold down into the forward fold again. So remember, starting with the rounded low back, inhale, round through the upper back. Eventually, shoulders will roll back, head will lift, push the chest up to the sky. And then exhale, tuck the chin down. Again, making the spinal wave, right? Roll yourself down. Breathe slowly. And then inhale will bring you back up. Push your chest up to the sky. Great. Take a breath in here. Stay. Exhale. All right. Walk your hands back. Lift your right foot up. I said I'm being nice because we're leaning back, right? Right foot comes to hover. Squeeze. Perfect. You could stay here all day. Your leg might be shaking a little bit. That's fine. Now with this angle, draw the knee into the chest. And then widen the knee out to the side. So external rotation. What you're trying to do is think about lining the top of your right ankle to the top of the, or the back of the left, I should say, right side of your right ankle to the top of the knee. I could probably cue that better. We're making a figure four stretch here. If you can't get the foot on top of the knee, you can bring it just to the side. So your choice. Find what works for you. And then push your knee down into the ground. So whether the foot's to the inside of the thigh or top, you'll stay here, press the knee down, and then lift your chest up to the ceiling just like we did before. Our heart center of compassion, right? Inhale, shoulders back. Exhale, push yourself up and start to round forward any amount. You might not round much. If it feels really intense, you might round down, bringing your forehead towards your shin. Inhale, slide your hands back. Lift the heart up to the sky. Same movement we did before. Exhale, fold any amount. I like to drag my fingers on the mat, right? So what we're doing is we're shifting the energy of the prana breath. Inhale, you'll come back up, shoulders back, lift the chest to the sky, reach. And then exhale, drag the hands, fold down. Inhale, drag the hands back, lift up, great. And then you're back on the beach. Fingertips face to the top of the mat. Now, option one is to stay here. Option two, try bending your left knee just a little bit. We're just increasing the stretch, tiny bit. Maybe you can bend it more. Maybe you can bend it more. This is that chance about, okay, where's my body today? What does it feel like it wants? Option to really bend into the foot and place it on the ground. So the maximum version would be foot on the ground and then pushing the chest up to the ceiling. No matter what you've chosen, we'll stay here for a few breaths. Continue thinking about external rotation in the right thigh, pushing the right knee down, right ankle on top of the knee, really trying to get a stretch on the outer edge of the right glute. Hold. Breath in. Breath out. Again, inhale. Exhale. Once more, breath in. Exhale, try and lift the foot, and then with control, ooh, slowly, yes. Can you extend the leg forward? Hover, left foot down to the ground. Inhale, reach your right foot up, draw it into the chest, take the internal rotation, so it's at neutral. Extend right foot forward, right? Just moving through these pathways really mindfully. Let's take the left foot up now, reach up, take a breath in. And then exhale, draw the knee up into the chest, hold here. On your next inhale, external rotation. Trying to think about putting that ankle on top of the knee, right? If it doesn't come to the knee, you'll bring it to the inside. If you can get ankle on top of the knee, find it there. Curl your toes back towards your shin on the right foot. Remember, we're not totally chilling. Take a breath in, roll the shoulders back, heart opens up to the sky. And then exhale, start to round the shoulders forward, lift up, and maybe you fold. You might stop here, that's fine. Maybe you can drag the hands forward and come all the way. Inhale, drag the hands back, lift up, heart comes to the sky. Exhale, fold. Leading with the chest. Head releases. Inhale, drag the hands back. Keep pushing the left knee down as you lift heart up to the sky. Exhale, leading with the chest, folding. Once more, hands drag back, lift. This time, walk the fingertips back. Stay here. Option one is to just keep opening the heart, right? You're really bending through the thoracic spine, shoulder blades together. Maybe you start to bend gently into the right knee. It could be just a baby bend. You could even be here and just a baby bend if you like. If you've got ankle here, bend, bend, bend. Maybe eventually you can get that foot to the ground. This is really tight for me. I feel this in my left glute. Push your left knee out. Then try to continue instead of rounding. Notice the difference in my spine. We're not here. We're here. Open through the heart and chest. When I ask you to do this, what happens is we create a closed angle with the hips between the hip, essentially the low belly, and the thigh. Hold 3, 2. Great work. 1, take a big breath in. And then we're going to extend the leg forward, even if it's barely bent. Hover that foot above the mat. Hold here. 3. Nice work. 2. And 1. Lower the foot down. Inhale, lift. Left foot comes up. Internally rotate. Slowly zip forward and release down to the ground. Nice hip work, everyone. Take a breath in. Reach your hands up high. Exhale, hands to heart center. Come to a tabletop pose without using your hands. Option 1, maybe here, right? Kicking around. But maybe you're getting creative today and you're like, oh, I'm going to do something so strange. Okay, that's what I came up with today. Great. When you're there, take your time, play with it a little bit, and then in tabletop, let's just move through some cat and cow so you can drop your belly, roll your shoulders back, look forward. Exhale, tuck and round. Now I encourage you today to do cat and cow, but add in variations. Add in movements that you might not normally do as you move through cat and cow. So maybe you start to walk the fingers out to the sides so they point to the sides of the mat, or so they point back towards you. Option to take it back to child's pose. Really let this be a bit of a free flow, free form variation of your cat and cow. Take one more round of some form of cow and cat variation. And then come back up to the mat. Curl your toes under. Option 1, you might stay in tabletop pose if down dog isn't accessible to you. If it is, walk your hands one handprint forward, and then hover the knees up off the mat. So you might keep knees on the mat, prepping. You might lift. If you're lifted, try to push the hands and the knees away from each other, and maybe you can kind of push your butt back towards your heels, almost like you're about to launch to the top of the mat. For 3, try to push your butt up to the sky, tilt your tailbone upwards. 2, and then 1, up and back, downward facing dog. A reminder that one of the most wonderful compassionate poses is child's pose, so if at any point you need that today, please take it. I had someone the other day who took child's pose for probably like 30 minutes in class, and they said it was the best class ever. So don't worry about that. You are more than welcome. Sink the heels down a little bit more. Feel free to see if there's play in the heels and the feet. And then inhale, look forward. Exhale, slowly walk your way, one toe print at a time to the top of the mat, and fold into Uttanasana with your head heavy. Inhale, halfway lift, lifting from the low back. Exhale, fold. Let's do that 3 times. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Once more, half lift. Nice. And then exhale, stay here for a minute. Bend in your knees gently. So just a micro bend in the knees. Take a little bit more of a bend than you might. And then work towards straightening the legs and notice the change in where you feel a stretch or where you feel engagement. A reminder that you can, in halfway lift, have your knees slightly bend if that feels better to you. More of a stretch on the hamstrings. 3, 2, and then 1. Fold, melt down, Uttanasana. Inhale, slide your hands forward, come to a chair pose, very briefly. And then exhale, come to standing, hands by your sides, Tadasana. Awesome work. Take a breath in, close your eyes for a moment, and a breath out. Just adjusting to being up, standing, right? Another breath in, and out. All right, let's get moving. Inhale, sweep up, look up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to either plank or tabletop pose, and we're gonna move slow down to the ground. Easy does it. 4, 3, remember knees can be down, and we just 2, 1. Great work. Inhale, lift up. Baby cobra. So first, we're going to take this in phases. Take no weight in the hands. Hover the hands up. And then stay where you are with your upper body. Lower your hands down to the mat. Put like a little bit of push in the hands. So just like a baby push, tiny bit. Great. Now that you have your baby push, try to lift your hands and stay where you are. Oh. Okay, great. Hands come back down. We're going to do it one more time. I can do it. You can do it. We can all do it. Push gently into the hands. Lift a little higher. Squeeze your butt. Squeeze your low back. Try to stay exactly where you are. Lift your hands up. Nice work. Exhale, lower down to the ground. It's so hard to talk when we do that. All right, inhale, lift up, slide your hands forward, come to Sphinx pose. Feels nice to be supported, right? Oh, a little bit of love. If Sphinx isn't accessible to you, you can always keep the head down on the hands. You're going to zip your left leg out to the side, bring it to 90 degrees. So knee in line with hip, knee in line with ankle. If you need, you might want to pad up under the knee if you have any pressure. I could use my little wool sock here. Another pro tip, you might roll the mat to make the mat a little bit thicker where the knee is. So take a little bit of time if you need extra room to pad up. Option 1, remember, compassion. You might just lay here and be like, yes, this is it. It feels good. You get a little stretch on the inside of the leg. If you're up in Sphinx, you could stay here. If you would like to take it a little bit further, you are going to push your left knee down into the ground and think about rotating that foot up towards the sky. So that'll be internal rotation in the thigh. Remember, every level is the perfect level. Exhale, if you're coming with me, you'll lower down, just like we're turning a door handle. We're working with hips today, as you'll see. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Try to make this movement really smooth. Inhale, slow, rotate up. Great, and then lower down. Now, just because we can, push your foot, let's say the left foot, into the ground as much as you can and try to lift the left knee up off the mat without changing your body. It's basically impossible. Hold there. 3, 2, and 1. Great. Lower down. When you're ready, zip your legs back together. You might take your head in the opposite direction and you're going to take the right leg out to the side. Same concept. You might have your gaze just gently over to that side, resting on the head. Stretch here. Doesn't this feel nice? I could stay here all day. If you like, you can come up into Sphinx, taking it a little bit deeper. Nice work, everybody. And if you want to move, you are going to flex through that right foot. Then push the knee into the ground on the right side as you inhale, rotate like a door handle. Rotate, 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 rotate. Internal rotation as far as you can get it. And then exhale, slowly lower down. Part of this is really about speed and control. So inhale, even if you're not lifting that high off of the mat, think about incrementally trying to get a tiny bit higher at the very end, cranking that handle, and then lower down. You also might be doing this from here, right? Inhale, lifting up, rotating. And exhale, slowly lower down. Now just for fun, you're going to push your right foot into the mat, that inside edge, and try to lift the right knee up off the mat. It's not gonna happen, but we're gonna try to hold there anyway. Push, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome work. Release, zip your legs together. Inhale, slide your hands by your sides. Curl your toes under. Option 1, tabletop, push up. Option 2, lift your knees, roll your shoulders back, pull your belly button in, and slowly push up to plank pose. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Option to do this from tabletop as well. You'll inhale your right leg high. Now, I am always harping about the hip being closed. Team, today you are going to open the hip. Kick the foot towards the butt. Open the hip wide and maybe start to make some really big circles with the knee and with the hip. I don't care so much about form as I do about feel. So just think about making circles in one direction and then flip it over. You'll make circles in the other direction. Trying to be as big as you can. Awesome work. Come back to center. Now's the time to shine. Close your hip and reach your right leg long. Look down, check, and make sure your right thigh is rolling inwards as you push and lift. Take one more breath in. Exhale, big step. Actually, let's take knee to tricep first. Why not, right? Inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, knee to tricep. Inhale, up and back. And then one big knee to tricep, lean and step your right foot to the outside of your hand, low lunge. So let's all bring the back knee down because we can. Option to pad the back knee, remember? And just like we did on the ground, you're going to roll onto the outside edge of that foot. So start to let the knee fall out to the side. You might just stay here, kind of like, oh, juicy stretch. Nowhere to be but here. Loving on my body. How great does it feel to just move today? Or you could take the hand to the inside and start to push and open that hip even more dramatically. Full version of this might be to rotate over to the right side and lower that hip down as you stretch. Reminder, we're all going somewhere, right? From here to here. Where you should feel this, outside edge of your right glute. 3, 2, and 1. Draw that knee back into center. Bring your right hand down to the mat if it's up. Now connect the knee to the tricep, curl your back toe under, lift your back knee up. Nice, and let's just move forward and back in this kind of, I don't know, I'm gonna call it the lizard lunge. Do you feel like a lizard? I do a little bit. At the same time, push the left hip flexor down to the ground. So really this is kind of our first chance on this hip extension, right? 3, 2, great, 1. Now, spin your back heel down, sink your butt down, and in one big movement, come up to warrior 2. Ooh, you might need to readjust and wiggle the right foot in slightly. I recommend it. So wiggle that foot in, bend into the knee, and then extend the arms nice and wide, warrior 2. I hear from a lot of people this is their favorite pose. So you'll have to let me know later if it's your favorite pose. I think it's fun. I wouldn't call it my favorite, mostly because what happens is I'm like, I'm gonna do what we're gonna do, right? You're gonna sink down into that knee and really try to get depth. We want depth in our warrior 2. Arms are strong, no loosey-goosey arms. Reach and extend. 3, 2, 1. Take a breath in. And then exhale, sweep the hands down to the inside of the foot once more, back where we started. Actually, let's frame the foot with your hands. I'm changing my mind. Frame the foot with your hands, lift your back heel off the mat, then sink down into the hip again. So this way, our knee is in our chest a little bit. That's okay. It's a little bit in the way. Now I'm gonna tell you where we're going and I don't want you to have a reaction. So we're moving towards standing splits on the right leg. I tell you that so you can start to think about how on earth am I gonna do that in my head. I'm gonna get you there. We'll take our time, nice and easy. Start to bend into the back knee, great, and then lower that back knee down. Straighten your right leg slightly, maybe a tiny stretch, and then move the knee forward. Curl your back toe under if you forgot, lift the back knee back up. Just a little prep. Now step that foot, whoop, one little hop forward. One little hop forward. One little hop forward, you might, option one, come to standing. Option two, you might come straight into standing splits, forehead to the shin. Come on down, lift the left leg high. If you came to standing, don't worry, we're going there. You're gonna start on standing and then reach your left leg back and just hover and stop when you feel like you can't go anymore. So think about drawing yourself down, chest down. If you don't have a block and you don't have support, you might just work on balancing here and holding. A level for everybody. If you're in full standing splits, lift your left leg higher. Higher up. I can see you on camera. Lift that bad boy up there. You got it. Take a breath in. Exhale. All right, now we're all going to meet in standing. Bend in your right knee. How slowly can you come up, trying to draw the left knee into the chest? Reach up the knee, bring it in. Nice work. Feet together, hands by your side. Tadasana, close your eyes. What just happened? Don't worry, you'll know in a second because you get to do it again. Breath in. And a breath out. Come back to that compassion right over your heart center, sending it directly to you. Breath in. And out. All right, sweep up, look up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to either plank or tabletop. Yes, we can. Lower down slow. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, back bend of your choice. So maybe you really liked putting a little weight in the hands and then torturing yourself for a second like I did. Maybe you want to come to full cobra, up dog. We'll exhale, all lower down. Curl the toes under, push up either tabletop or plank. And then either you stay in tabletop or come back to downward facing dog. That was one side. Can you believe that? What a beautiful thing. We have a whole nother side to do. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Kick your foot to your butt, open your hip. Remember, we're breaking all the real estate, opening that hip up as big as you can. And now start to draw circles with the knee. Reminder, if you're doing this in tabletop, you're just doing it here. Same movement, less work on the arms. Take it in the opposite direction if you haven't already. Awesome work. Come back to center. Close the hip. Reach the left leg long. Take a breath in. And then exhale, left knee, left tricep, because we can. Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, knee to tricep. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, knee to tricep. Okay, now that it's there, this is just one big step to the outside of the hand. Lower the back knee down. Okay. So option one is you're just going to enjoy this luxurious stretch, pushing the right hip flexor forward, left hip back. Option two, start to roll onto the outer edge of your left foot. Remember, foot is flexed, so we're keeping energy in the ankle and the foot. You might take the hand to the outside of that knee and start to open. You could gaze over to the side. Maybe you can bring the hip down. I can't on this side because I sprained my ankle a couple years ago and I still don't have the same mobility. A beautiful reminder that everything is different, right? Every side of our body, and our body carries experience with it. Just because we can't do something doesn't mean it's bad. It just is. Hold here. 3, 2. Great work. 1. Come back to center, zip that leg in. Bring your hand back down to the ground if it's up, and we all meet in this low lunge. Now curl the back toe under, lift the back knee up, and just start to shift forward and back. Our focus is the right hip flexor pushing and extending down to the ground. Why? Because now you know, I'm not spoiling a surprise, we're going to try to move into standing splits. And for standing splits, we really require hip extension. So think about pushing that right hip down, shifting here and there. Great work. Now spin your back heel down. Reach your right hand high and push up, warrior 2. You might have to wiggle the foot in slightly, that left foot in. If not, then you're strong. Okay, so now you found your warrior two. Once you're there, because like we're fine, this is fine, we could hang out. Now sink it down a little bit. There we go. Find the depth of a warrior two, and then if I were to come touch your arms, they wouldn't go, who knew? They would be rock solid, right? Extend through the arms as much as you sink into the legs and hold. Breath in. Breath out. Again, breath in. Sink down. Breath out. Once more, inhale. Great. Exhale. Sweep the hands down. Frame the foot. Lift the back heel off the mat. So now we've got that knee into our chest, basically. Before we start, lower your back knee down for a second. Give yourself a little bit of a break. You might stay or start to straighten briefly through that front leg, just because I think it feels nice. That's literally why we're doing this. And then come forward. Curl the back toe under. Now, you might try in one big movement to move right into standing splits with your right leg high. Another option would be to hop the foot in little by little, hands on the ground, and try to lift that foot up and back. If you're like, no, Madison, not at all, you're going to hop the foot forward and then come to standing. From standing, you shift into the left leg, extend your right leg back, and start to try to fold down into standing splits, and you might stop here, and that's fine. If you're in full standing splits and you're listening to me talk, try to put one hand or maybe both hands on the ankle, fold the forehead into the shin. Right now, I think I got one hand. I'll try to do it. If we fall, we fall, team. 3, 2, and 1. Awesome work. Now, all together, come to standing with grace. Maybe we got our arms flailing all the way because we're trying to balance. Bring the right knee up into the chest. Perfect. Feet side to side, hands by your sides. Tadasana, close your eyes. Bring your hands to your heart. Feel the warmth of your palms, your heartbeat over your heart center. Feel the warmth flooding your body. Today, that's not sweat. That's not heat. That's compassion, baby. Breath in. And a breath out. Blink your eyes open, hands by your sides. Move a little bit more. Inhale, sweep up, look up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands and step back to either plank or tabletop. We lower down slow. 4, 3, 2. Shoulder heads back. Come to your belly. 1. Untuck the toes, back bend to your choice, and maybe that's a baby back bend. Maybe it's something bigger. Exhale, you'll lower down. Hands come by your sides, curl your toes under, lift your knees up if you're coming to plank, and we'll all push up to either plank or tabletop. Downward facing dog. Look forward right away, and then step, or if you're really craving a big hop, you could hop to the top of the mat and fold into Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit back, chair pose, hands high. And then you just stay here. I'm noticing it's getting darker, so I'm going to turn on a light. You just stay in chair. You're doing great. So good. Awesome work. Am I taking my time on purpose? Yeah, maybe. Is that the right light? Maybe I try this light over here. You're still good. Just wait. It's fine. You can do it. No problem. Right? Sit lower. Easy for me to say, huh? Hold here. 3, 2. Awesome. 1. Inhale, come to standing. Exhale, hands by your sides, Tadasana. Okay, we are going to work on a balancing transition pose. So bring your hands to your hips. Shift your weight over into your left leg. I'm going to stand here just to make sure I have dark pants so you can see exactly what my legs are doing. Then sit down into your chair. Oh no. All you have to do, hands on the hips and chair, shift into the left leg and hover the right foot. Good focus. Now, inhale, straighten the left leg. Keep the foot high. And then exhale, bend the knee back into chair. Remember, fall and laugh. Inhale, straighten, lift. Exhale, bend and lower. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, feet together, hands by your side, Tadasana. Let's do the other side. Shift your weight into your right leg. Hands come back to the hips. Breath in. And then exhale, lower into chair. All right. Right leg is strong. Lift your left foot up. Just a tiny bit. It doesn't even have to be that much. It can be like a baby lift. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Lift. Exhale, bend. And if the toes got to touch the ground a little bit, that's fine. No worries. Inhale, up. And then exhale, lower into chair pose. Feet together, hands high. Take a breath in. Exhale, hands by your side, Tadasana. Inhale. Exhale. All right, so this next sequence, it's short. I want you to do it with the reckless abandon of like a 4-year-old. So obviously keep your body safe. But imagine how much a 4-year-old cares about what happens, right? How much do kids care about if they do something right or proper? They just are there to explore, right? And that's why you're here. You're here to explore, and once more, to celebrate the fact that your body can do anything, that you have the ability to move and to breathe. Everyone's like, oh God, what is she preparing us for? It's not that bad, I promise. Shift your weight over into your left leg. Hands to the hips. Draw your right knee up, 90-degree bend. Now remember when we were on the floor, I asked you to do external rotation in the thigh. Take that external rotation again. Awesome, start to bend into your left knee. Bend, bend, bend. Hover your right ankle above your left knee. Breath in. And then bring the ankle on top of the knee. Look at what happened. We're in figure 4. Option to stay here. Maybe you choose to lift the hands high and sit the butt down lower. If it's accessible, why do I give levels? So we can try it all. You might bring hands to heart center and work on bringing the forearms to the shin. Sitting the butt back. Totally your choice. No matter what we're doing, we're all having the same amount of a workout on this left leg. It's happening for all of us. Strong left leg. Flex the right foot. Push the right knee down. Now, come up out of it, nice and easy. Draw the right knee up, internal rotation, hold it here. The reason I said reckless abandon is we're moving to standing splits. Inhale. Exhale, move the right leg back. Reminder, you might just hover here. Maybe you work on balancing and leaning forward. If you can, you're going to come forward, reaching the hands down towards the ground or the ankle. Pull the forehead into the shin and hold. Lift right foot high. I know that left leg is tired. Why? Because it's tired. It's tired on me too. Try to lift a little higher. Hold. 3. Balance, laugh. You're a 4-year-old. Don't forget. 2. Great. 1. Now come up out of it. I know that leg is like, oh my gosh, I'm about to fall. I cheated. I used the table. Don't tell anybody. Reach up, knee into chest. And then release. Shake it out. Oh man. Give your left leg like a hug. Great job, left leg. So tired. Okay, this is it. One more side. We're coming down. Shake it out. Shake your shoulders. Shift your weight over into your right leg. And then bring your hands to your hips. Your left knee will come up, 90-degree bend. Then external rotation. Find that external rotation first. Bend into your right knee. Hover the ankle over the knee. Now, when I see students do this in class, they always put the ankle on the knee too soon. And I'm like, not yet. We're hovering. So hover. If you fall, come back in. And then when you're ready, now you can put the ankle on top of the knee, find your figure four. Hands can stay on the hips. Maybe you sit your butt back more. Maybe hands extend up, sit low. If you can get basically to 90, you can bring your hands to heart center and work the forearms to the shin and hold. So this is that beginning of the right leg being like, okay, I can do this. Little kids don't care when their legs are a tiny bit tired. Actually, that's a lie. They complain about tired legs all the time. But I feel like when they're having fun, they just ignore it. So have fun and just ignore it. Now, sit your butt deep. We all come out really slow and easy. Easy does it. Zero rush to get to the top. Once you're there, lift the knee up, find your internal rotation. And now is where we're going to move towards standing splits. Extend left leg back. You might stay in balance and you're kind of in like a warrior three, right? Option to work on coming all the way down, slow and controlled into standing splits. You can bring hands to the ankle, hand to the ankle, laugh, breathe, feel your awesome heartbeat, your breath, wiggle, wobble. Enjoy the sensation of having a body. 3. Lift that left leg higher. 2. And 1, very slowly. This is the hardest part. Try to come out. When you fall like me, that's fine. Draw the knee up into the chest. Feet together, hands by your sides. Spread your legs wide, shake them out. Big shake of the legs. Fantastic work, everybody. I know that wasn't easy. Let's take the arms nice and wide. And then wrap them around you and give yourself a big hug. Close your eyes. You can continue to sway side to side with your eyes closed, your arms wrapped around you, or come to stillness. Allow your breath to flow. Breath in. If you're moving, start to slow that down. Make the body still. Inhale. Exhale, release your hands by your sides. All right, feet together. Inhale, sweep up, look up. And fold down, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, bend in your knees, and just step your way down into a tabletop pose. Take your time getting there. And then from tabletop, clasp your hands together. Can you come to a seat on your butt without using your hands? Maybe. Let's try to find a way. And then I'm at the back of the mat, so if you're at the back, don't use your hands yet. Try to shimmy, shimmy, shimmy to the front of the mat. Yes, we're coming to laying down, so why not do it once more? No hands. Reach hands forward. Push the belly down and in. Lower down 1 vertebra at a time, all the way to the mat. Oh, once you are there, reach your hands up above your head. And then as you exhale, bring your arms out to a T. Place the palms down onto the ground. So you've got your arms at the T. And then draw one knee up to 90 degrees and the other knee. Take a breath in. And exhale, knees over to the right side, twist. You might take not a deep twist, that's fine. You might deepen it a little bit. And then come back to center. Let's twist over opposite side. Reminder that as you twist, no matter what shape you're taking, really trying to keep the shoulders onto the ground. And then make your way back up to center. Let's come into a happy baby. Reach for the feet, sway side to side or stay still. Feel your heart rate coming back down. Your body relaxing down to the ground. And then if there is anything else you would like to take to close out your practice, I will give you about a minute. We are transitioning into Shavasana with a brief meditation to start. So maybe you use this minute to really get comfortable padding up with a sweater or with socks. Or if you're like, I am so hot, maybe you take this to take a sip of water and really get comfortable, wide-legged Shavasana, right? Make sure you take up as much space as you need. About another 30 seconds or so. So if you're doing two-sided work, even out the other side. Make both sides of the body match, as they say, when it comes to stretching. And then if you haven't already, transition into Shavasana. Let the legs be nice and long, palms face up by your sides. Let your eyes close and let your jaw relax. Any tension you might have in the head, the neck, and the shoulders. Allow yourself to just get really heavy on the mat. Like Earth's gravity just doubled. One of the things that I've noticed about yogis or people who practice yoga in general is you have no shortage of compassion. I see it time and time again. Yogis are these people who just have so much love, so much compassion to share, but sometimes when we share it with others, we forget that we also need to share that same love and compassion to ourselves. We can get burnt out, our cup can get empty, right? So this is where I want you to solidify that compassion for yourself, for who you are, because you're awesome. And come back to visualizing that little ball of light right over your heart.
Okay.
So envision that ball of light just hovering right over the heart center. As you inhale, it grows bigger. And as you exhale, it starts to spread to other areas of your body. This is your compassion. As you inhale, it grows bigger. As you exhale, it starts to encompass your head and your hips, growing brighter. Again, as you inhale, it grows brighter. And exhale, it extends to every part of your body. And now you, my lovely friend, are glowing. there is warmth and light extending through every piece of your body. It's almost as if you're laying in the sun. And in this moment, you are not only laying in a ball of light, but you are bathing in compassion. And you can just feel your body soaking it up. Once you feel like every bit of your body is covered in light, has soaked up this compassion, allow this bright light to slowly sink back towards your heart center. Almost like you're reeling it back in to store it for later use. And then once it reaches the heart, that glowing ball of light is there once more. A wonderful reminder that if we want to share our compassion with others and our love with others, we also need to share it with ourselves. Inhale. As you exhale, the ball sinks down into your heart itself, and you relax fully into Shavasana. A heavy body, a calm, rested mind. Take a deep breath in. And a breath out. Reawaken your body with small movements in your fingers, your toes. Maybe rock your head side to side. And then eventually stretch your arms up above your head, reach them long, maybe point the toes, moving left and right. Let your body expand on your mat. And then you can draw one knee towards the chest and the other. Maybe give yourself a little hug and a squeeze. Throw in a compliment about how awesome you are. And roll over onto your favorite side. When you're ready, press yourself up to a comfortable seat facing any direction. Hands can either come together at heart center or maybe two hands over the heart. Whatever feels best for you. As you inhale, let your spine grow long. Exhale, tuck your chin and bow to seal your practice. Inhale, lift the head back up. Open your eyes. Thank you all. Fantastic work today. I appreciate you sharing your compassion with someone else and with yourself. You are all awesome. Happy to be back in Mallorca, obviously, so I will see you next week for the Sunday Sweat Club. As always, if you have any questions, please let me know. Send me a message. Stay around to chat. Fantastic to have you. Thank you all. See you soon.